Now on this piece of property that we're on today, it's one of our smaller pieces of property, but it does have 2 food plots that are almost an acre apiece. Now on this particular food plot that we'll be working on today, it performed great last year, but we did encounter one problem with it. Now our deer density a few years ago before we started managing was really low, but after a few years of management it really increased, and the size of our food plot was inadequate for the amount of deer that we had browsing it. Our soybeans did a great job keeping up and they still performed great, but they were over browsed, and so this year we decided that we were going to extend the food plot and we doubled it in size. Now let's talk about the location of this food plot. This food plot is in one of our areas that we do cross fence for our cattle, but as you can tell, we've butted it up against one of our very thick pieces of our property. It's got a great bedding area and a great staging area, and as you can see behind me, we've made a trail that comes right out of it directly into our food plot. Now with a thick bedding area and staging area behind me and a great food source here with the Eagle Seed soybeans and the water source not more than 100 yards away, they have everything they need in this close vicinity. Now one of the things that we have to factor in on this piece of property is something probably a lot of you guys can relate to. We have cattle. Now whether they're a means of meat for your family or they're a source of income, there's something that a lot of you guys have to deal with. Now we've cross-fenced this property multiple times, which allows us to move the cattle from one area to another without depleting any food sources in any given area, which allows the deer to still have a food source in that area as well. But we have to keep the cattle out of the food plot, so what we do is we build fences. We build our temporary, permanent fences is what we like to call them, because they are permanent, but they are temporary at the same time, because we can take them down and move them if we need to, like we had to do in this food plot when we extended the area of this food plot. Now they aren't the most elaborate fences that we've ever built, usually just composed of 3 barbed wire strands, just enough to keep the cattle out. Deer have no problem crossing this fence, especially with just 3 strands. Most of them will crawl in between or underneath it, and a few will jump over it.